I think even in the next record, we're going to do a little bit of fan interaction and engagement with our songwriting. Even maybe even take a Kanye West Donda kind of pantyhose on my face and everything. I'm going to do it.
I'm about to explode. Speeding down a warpath. Self-defense, call a barrel my proxy.
Hey, Elias, how are you, man?
What is up, my brother?
I'm great. You're sideways at the moment. There we go.
Let's do this. All right. A lot of times it does the other way on people. So they always tell me to do it this way. So how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are things, man? How you been?
I'm good. I'm sorry I ran in a little bit late. One of my other meetings ran a little late and I had to jump off.
Dude, don't worry about it. You are an exceptionally busy person, I can imagine right now.
It's a pretty crazy time. We're trying to promote this tour, and I'm trying to get When Doves Cry situated, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. You know?
Well, you've had about a year and a half now to kind of put all this into perspective and get yourself ready for it, man. Are you ready to get out and get to work again?
Oh, absolutely. The fans are ready to see us, and we're ready to get out there. We're getting the bubble ready, trying to stay safe, and the team is all vaxxed up and getting ready to hit the road hard.
Yeah. Now you guys have been right back in it, once everything kind of opened up in 2021 now. Pretty ambitious touring schedule coming up for you guys. You're hitting the road with Atreyu for a little bit. And then you're going to be here September 7th, actually, in Wichita with that show. It's going to be a blast, man, to see you again.
Yes. It's getting big shows, like that, and getting to pair up with people like Atreyu and Seether. It really makes the coming out of the pandemic and getting back to work just that much more special, man.
And then after that, you've got your own headlining tour, the I'm About to Explode tour. Now, the tour title, of course, that first line in the new song.
Yes.
But also, I feel like it's one hell of a statement after, nobody being able to do anything for a year and a half. I'm telling you from some of the shows that I've been to since everything's opened up, like, it is exactly that. It is I'm about ready to explode, and it's been a bomb of emotion when these shows kick off, man.
It really is. We saw it at Rockfest, that very first show back, and people have they really feel pent up and feel stifled, and we understand that we're trying our best to keep everybody safe and to keep the shows as packed as possible, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm worried about people wanting to get shoulder to shoulder. We're hoping people are taking precautions.
Sure, absolutely. Now I know you've already had a few performances, but I mean, what's that feeling like of getting revved up for this full on tour with you guys after being off the road for almost 2 years?
Oh, it's back to the same thing. We really feel like it's been a long time coming. We've been practicing and playing Ruthless live and playing Doves and all these songs. It definitely feels, missed, and it feels good to be back at it.
What was it like putting Ruthless out in front of people for the first time? Like, I know that's always a nerve-wracking thing, anytime that you put a single out in front of people for the first time like that. But this one in particular has kind of deeper meaning for you guys for some reasons that I'll get to here in a second. But what was it like putting that out there in front of people for the first time this time?
We waited a whole year to drop that one. It had plans before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. So again, it was a long time coming situation. Hearing it in that big, kind of setting, that grandioso, epic kind of setting, was surreal to see it again, to see it happen again.
The new song mentioned, Ruthless, out now. It's another just solid track from you guys. Honestly, probably one of the most aggressive in a lot of ways, and it feels a little more personal with you guys. Huge success out the gate with this, to the point that you got All Elite Wrestling, AEW, to put that on one of their programs as well.
Yeah, it was welcomed, and they reached out to us almost 2 years ago to work on the track. When the pandemic hit, they were still going to go ahead with one of the events, and asked us, do you want to drop the song now or do you want to wait? And we know the importance of being able to support a song with a tour. So we asked if we could wait, and they were so kind to let us, hold back on that song. And it worked out great because now it was on Blood and Guts, and that one it worked out perfect with the video and the theme of the song. So when they reached out and they said, hey, we want to switch gears and try it for this event, we were all thumbs up.
Very cool. Now the track is off your upcoming EP, which to my knowledge does not have a title necessarily yet, correct?
It's Ruthless.
It is Ruthless. It's a Ruthless
yes.
EP. Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So what's unique about this EP is it's the first official release on your new label, 361 Degrees Records.
Right.
And this is your label. It's your independent thing. You guys are running your own label now. This is awesome.
That's right. That's right. We put together a team. We had a plan, and I really feel like we executed.
You started this process back in January of last year, and obviously things kind of got a little hairy after a few months there. But I started watching the YouTube series, the documentary series that you guys did with this. It was incredibly informative because, I work from this end of the industry. I had no idea what a band would have to go through to set something up like this from scratch.
Yeah. It was a lot of education, but it was a lot of theories that we had over many, many years that we actually got to test. You pose a lot of questions when you do releases with, teams of people that have your best interest at heart, and, give advice to maybe take this road instead of this road. And it's a really fun experience to just make your own decision the entire way down.
Was it kind of relieving, that you guys got to do all this on your own? You're not having to, understandably, the labels have helped you. They help all bands, for the most part, kind of get their feet underneath them. But now that you don't have that label aspect to what you're doing, was there an element of freedom to it that you guys were just like, just take a big breath with it?
It's funny. The stress switched from one side of it to the other, where we didn't have to worry about this so much, like the money. We really didn't have to worry about so much in the old model. That's what we have to worry about now. So the level of stress is, basically the same. It's just now I don't have to worry about so much of timing and opinions on this side, that I can just do it at my own pace, have it weigh on my own opinion and our decisions. And then we just worry about the money. That's basically it.
I was also blown away, you putting this documentary series out, because not a lot of people get the insight from the back end of this, of how this kind of works. You guys were very upfront about this is about us being us and the fans being a part of this as well. It was very transparent. And, it's really interesting, I think, that the fans are getting to sound off and be a part of this process with you.
Yeah, I think even in the next record, we're going to do a little bit of fan interaction and engagement with our songwriting, even. Maybe even take a Kanye West Donda kind of angle where we take them along in the writing process, weigh some riffs up against other riffs and say, hey, we got this riff. Which one do you guys like more? We've tossed around some ideas. So we are always trying to think about how best to engage our audience, especially at a time like this.
So you're going to do the whole live stream from like the, what was it, the Mercedes Dome in Atlantic or whatever? You're sleeping in a room with Kanye,
Pantyhose on my face and everything. I'm going to do it.
I think that's going to make you guys go viral. That people who don't know who Nonpoint is are going to know real fast for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that'll make some headlines. It'll definitely make Blabbermouth.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my cat is like literally next to me attacking
everything
around me. You got to chill. Hey, chill. I'm on a... All right.
What's the cat's name?
This is Mochi, but her nickname is Kitty Baby.
Oh, okay.
Kitty Baby Soriano. She's out of her mind.
So how was the process of doing the music for this EP different from, what you've done previously on full-length albums under other labels?
I think this time we really got to focus on a smaller section of the body of work that allowed us to, make a plan for each one of the songs and to have some sort of kind of release representations. There's lots of sorry about that. There's lots of B tracks that people are like, oh, I love that song on your record. I wish I would have seen a video for it. That we missed in our last releases. And this time around, we feel like, by tightening it up that way, we're going to have an opportunity and be able to stretch the budget to give attention to the entire body.
You did say something in that series that I was watching. Your exact statement, I think, was none of your albums, you speaking about yourself, none of your albums have been fully on display, but this one will. And that's kind of what you're talking about is like, when you release a full album of, 10, 12, 15 tracks or whatever, only like 4 of them maybe will become singles. And then the rest of them become, just
maybe.
Maybe they kind of get lost in the wind. And like, when you said that, it kind of lit a fire under my ass to go listen to, full albums from Nonpoint again. And you're 100% right. Like there's a lot of great stuff that just unfortunately never got to see the light of day as much.
And you know what? That's some of the theories is that how far can we stretch a budget to give that level of satisfaction to not only our fans, but to us, to get to see the amount of effort that bands put into each song. It doesn't matter whether or not it gets picked to get put on the radio or on a playlist or to get service to DSPs. There's still effort and idea and intention in that music, and it really deserves some kind of level of attention outside of just throwing it on the record.
I've always wondered that about artists, like when they do put out these full albums and like, there's probably songs that you guys have put, because I mean, is it 8 records in now? No, you're 10. 12. 10 records now.
10. This would be 11 if you considered it a full length.
Sure. So, there's probably a ton of songs that you've had on these albums that you've never gotten the opportunity to play live, or maybe you've just never, they weren't the hit or whatever. So like, on the tour, you never got to play some of these live. And it always has been interesting to me. It was like, well, okay, if I'm a band, why am I putting forth the extra effort? Like you said, for these songs that nobody's ever going to hear except for when they're listening to the record.
Right. It's to create a product, and it's deeper than that to not only the artist, but to the fans. And I feel like it deserves a little bit more attention.
So another thing I did take away specifically from the first episode, you guys were talking about how consumption of music has changed as well. People don't go buy full albums anymore. They listen to them as singles. And especially if you're like a pop or a hip hop artist, you can crank out songs, daily almost. Yeah. It's not the same with bands because there's a lot more moving pieces in there. So it sounds like Nonpoint is really taking kind of a blend of both approaches now for how you guys are putting out music.
Yeah, it's definitely a test to our process and to I keep saying it, our model, and to try that kind of release and that do that kind of planning and make that kind of infrastructure with our band. It's challenging because there are a lot of moving parts and there are a lot of old way of thinking. And I want to, and my team, we all want to really accelerate that, so that way we can match the pace of consumption.
So would you say that Nonpoint is more or less, at least done for now, with the standard typical album cycle?
Eventually, we're going to get to a full body of work, but I feel like by gauging what our audience and how we're feeling at the time, we can ramp up to that and then really hit them with something that it makes sense for us to have not only the 10 or 15 songs that they've heard, but me attach another 10 and then we drop that on an album.
There you go. Okay. So if my understanding is correct, you're going to put out, a handful of EPs and then all of that is going to be combined at the end plus some extras, and that's going to be like the full body of work.
That's what we're aiming for.
So you're trying to create the perfect non-point album, is what you're telling me.
Basically, but give ourselves the time and give our audience the ability to come along the trip with it, and then when they get that last one, to just be put over the top.
Right. So you mentioned that you're kind of listening to the fans on this too. So, say these, the EP is out, people are listening to these records, and some of the fans are saying, "Oh, I like this, but I don't like this." You take that into consideration for the next EP?
I have time.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're literally like live writing for your fans, and that is an incredible mentality.
Because then I can give them the attention and give ourselves the attention. That relationship is what survived the band so long. Now the goal is to take it to the next level, because we have access to them all with social media. So we want to use that connection to now drive the creative.
Fantastic. So these first 4 songs, obviously, you've had 20 years of input now from fans. Did you go into writing these first few songs on the EP with that in mind, or was it more like, we're going to do what we've always wanted to do and then see how people react?
That we went backwards in our mentality of our songwriting process, where we decided we were going to write the hardest stuff we could first. Let's go with that first.
Okay.
So, and to make sure that that was the first thing that we released, that it was very, very aggressive, because we know that it's the aggressive songs that when we play live, that we get the biggest reaction from. We know what our wheelhouse is. So that's our goal right now, is great songwriting, definitely, but we're trying to put energy back into the music.
Sure. And I mean, Ruthless is an incredible addition to that. Like, it was one that, like, the second you hear that line, it's that opening line of the record, man, like, it's, you know what you're in for when you hear that line, and it's like, okay, this is the real deal. This is going to get me out of my seat.
It's chess, not checkers.
Exactly. You've also got, you were mentioning, the writing process. New guitar player Jason is with you guys. He's had a pretty good hand in writing some of the new music, I assume, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When the players write their parts, we challenge each other. Hey, maybe we try another part. Really love this. Let's try this. But that's always been the process, always with our writers. You can definitely tell from from album to album what the lineup is.
So how has Jason fit in now? Because you added him end of 2019, I believe, right as you were starting to do this.
A team player. Jason is a team player. That is the best way to describe Jason. He's very positive. He's very open-minded, and he's a team player. So it's easy to write with Jay. How
did you come to get Jason in? Was it somebody, like, you guys knew him before?
It was somebody. He was in the scene, old friend of Rashid's, but actually a suggestion from our manager. Knew him in the scene, had seen him a couple times, said, "Hey, I think this guy's got you guys' vibe." And when he brought it up to Jason, and his name got tossed into the hat when we were discussing guitar players, Rashid was like, "I know Jason." And we're like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yeah, he's a cool dude, man." And we're like, "All right, good, let's get him in here." So it worked out.
Very cool. Well, I feel like he's definitely fitting in well from what you're saying and from the music that you put out with Ruthless now. And man, I got to tell you, Ruthless has had some incredible success very early on from the release. So we're happy to see. We're very proud of everything that Nonpoint's going through. Last thing I'm going to ask, it's about to get real for you guys, getting out on the road for tours and stuff. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to step out in front of your fans again?
I'm just nervous about everyone's health. My crew is my family. And I don't like putting them in harm's way when there's, touchy moments on the road, a drunk meathead one night, or, an overzealous security guard, or, just walking down the street and some homeless dude wants to start a fight. It's like we never know what we're going to run into. So it's very family atmosphere in the Nonpoint bus. And to have the pandemic looming over top, that's what I'm most concerned about. I want my family to be okay.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Tuesday, September 7th, you guys are going to be in Wichita with Treyu on that show. It's going to be a great night.
That's going to be a great show.
Yeah, we're stoked, and the venue is really cool. It's an old Scottish Rite building, so like you're going to be in this theater that has big, huge ceilings and stuff on the side. Like it's a really cool looking venue for you guys. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be a great night. Congratulations again on the process. Congrats on the success of Ruthless. And man, we are so happy to see Nonpoint really, you guys are blossoming into this independent thing that I think rock is going to be very proud to be a part of.
I appreciate it, man. We're doing our best, and we're feeling blessed. So thank you.
Very cool. Elias, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Let the mud fly, turn it, identify, it's time to get. Statement is certified.